Welcome back to DaBoot Tragedies. There have been constant rumors swirling around about Derek Carr possibly coming to the Saints. It seems like the Saints, have interest in Derek Carr. I think we're going to just be interested in almost every quarterback that's available throughout the draft, free agency, via the trade market, just because the quarterback play was subpar last year. Obviously, Dennis Allen went away from Jameis Winston early in the season. He went to Andy Dalton. Originally, we brought Andy Dalton in just to be a backup quarterback to Jameis Winston, but he took over the reins and played quarterback for the remainder of the season. And honestly, it was just a below average performance by just the quarterback room as a whole, coaching staff as a whole. So obviously, we're going to have to shake things up at the quarterback position if the Saints want to be successful next season and insert Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr will be coming from the Las Vegas Raiders. They don't want him anymore. They basically benched him at the end of the season because if he got injured, his contract became guaranteed, so he didn't play like the last 2 or 3 games of the season. They're moving on, which is funny because Devontae Adams went there to play with Derek Carr. They played in college together. They're real good friends. Now he's either going to be cut, traded, something's going to happen, but he won't be playing for the Raiders next season, and that's where you enter the Saints. Me personally, I wouldn't trade for Derek Carr. Let's get that out the way. I would not trade for Derek Carr. I'm not giving up any assets to get a guy that's probably going to be cut anyway. That would be almost idiotic. Only way I would trade, I take that back. Only way I would trade for Derek Carr, let's say you really, really want him. You want him to be your quarterback for next year or 2 years. I'll give up a 7th round pick. I'll give up a super, super late pick for Derek Carr. 6th or 7th, if that can get the job done, I'll do it. I'm not too worried about a 6th or 7th round pick in the draft just because the Saints have been so good at undrafted free agency that it just really wouldn't affect, our team that much if we gave up a 6th or 7th round pick. If you just look at the Saints draft history, undrafted free agency has been kind to us, so losing a 6th or 7th round pick won't necessarily hurt us in any type of way. And if it gets you a quarterback that you think can hold down the ship for 1 year, be a bridge quarterback for 1 year, maybe you still draft a guy, maybe you look to next year to get a guy, I think Derek Carr could be that guy. He's not the greatest quarterback in the world. He's also not the worst quarterback in the world. He's definitely better than Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton. I can confidently say that Derek Carr is probably better than both of those quarterbacks. We can look at some of his career numbers right now. Starting off, 65% completion percentage as in the career. That's not awful. 35,000 yards, 217 touchdowns, 99 interceptions. Quarterback rating of 91.8. So he's been a solid quarterback. Record 63-79. Not going to put all that on him. Obviously, he was with the Raiders, so, they stunk it up. And you can kind of say him and Dennis Allen has a connection because the year Dennis Allen got fired in 2014, that was Derek Carr's rookie year. Dennis Allen went 0-4 and then, ended up getting fired. Derek Carr was the quarterback. He played all 16 games, started all 16 games. So him starting 0-4 basically got Dennis Allen fired, or Dennis Allen having him start 0-4 got Dennis Allen fired. But he's been very, very durable in his career. Only missing about 3 or 4 games in his career, and a couple of those they've been bad. So he just sat out the end of the season because it was nowhere for them to go, including this year. We look at this year's stats. He went 6-9 as a quarterback. 305 for 502. That's 60%. So that's low off his career. Actually, his career low if you take out his rookie year. Threw for 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That's not great numbers. Not great numbers by any stretch of the imagination. But he's 31. He's basically in his best years. His best years is just an above average quarterback. Let's be honest. But last year, he went 10-7. Played all 17 games. Threw for 4,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. If that Derek Carr shows up for the Saints, we will be an elite team. Or the 2016 Derek Carr, where he threw for 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's the Derek Carr that if he shows up for the Saints, we'll be a playoff team. If he comes to the Saints, we'll easily be a playoff team because the NFC South is going to be brutal next season. He'll already be the best quarterback in NFC South by far. You got Kyle Trask, Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, Sam Darnold. It's very, very bad in the NFC South right now. So Desmond Ridder. NFC South quarterbacks are awful. So if Derek Carr was to come to the Saints by chance, he'll easily be the best quarterback in the division. And it kind of brings some stability to the quarterback position, at least for a year. At least for a year. If he plays well, who knows what happens after that. But I obviously don't think he's going to be the quarterback of the future if this does happen. But I would like it to shake up the quarterback room for sure. And bringing in Derek Carr, it doesn't really interfere with the Taysom role. Because if you bring in a guy, let's say if we drafted Anthony Richardson or somehow got Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields, to me that kind of limits Taysom Hill because those quarterbacks can do, I won't say they can run the same as Taysom Hill. Justin Fields can. But, if you get a running quarterback back there, a mobile quarterback back there, that's going to limit what Taysom can do because, you don't really want to take your quarterback out when he can already do that. I know you don't want him taking those hits, but it just brings, more dynamic to the team. So I think bringing in Derek Carr, Taysom role can stay the same. It's just going to be like Andy Dalton. He's not a very, very mobile quarterback. He can move a little bit, but he's not going to break no 60, 70-yard runs, like a Justin Fields, a Richardson would do, or Lamar Jackson would do, anything like that. So I think the Taysom role will still be prominent in the offense, so you won't have to worry about that. And I honestly just think he's a decent quarterback. He's a decent quarterback, definitely better than Andy Dalton. I'll die on that hill. Everybody knows that. He's definitely going to be an upgrade over Andy Dalton if he comes to the Saints. I can't name 20 quarterbacks better than him, maybe. Maybe not even 15 if we're being honest. You have some young guys with more potential, guys that eventually will be better than him. Like, I don't think Justin Fields is better than him right now at this moment, but would I take Justin Fields over Derek Carr? 100 times out of 100. But good quarterback, solid quarterback. Obviously, there's interest. Where there's smoke, there's fire. His name has been buzzing with the Saints for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the moment. So who knows what will happen. It's a long offseason to go. Super Bowl still has to be played. Saints are going to have to free up some cap, get creative with the cap again before anything, probably happens on that front. But hey, if it happens, it happens. We'll talk about it. I'll probably watch every game from the Raiders this past season that he played in. So we'll see. And I also can see him, bridging the gap for a quarterback. If he were to draft a rookie, I could see them learning from Derek Carr. Obviously, it's the football family. His brother David Carr playing in the NFL. He played in the NFL, so it's obviously very knowledgeable about the quarterback position. Another quarterback learning from under him could only, do wonders for him. And I think he'll take on that role. He seems like a good guy from what I've seen, but you never really know those things. But from a distance, from afar, he seems like a pretty good guy. Solid quarterback, has his up and downs like any other average or above average quarterback in this NFL. He's no Pat Mahomes. He's no Josh Allen, Joe Burrow type. But he is a really good quarterback, in my opinion. I think he's probably right under like the Dak Prescott types and things like that. He may be even close with Dak Prescott. And I mean, if you told me we could have Dak Prescott next year, if contracts wasn't a thing, I would sure take him as well. We just need a consistent, constant quarterback that we know we're going to get out of him. I'll quickly just go through his game log from last year. Threw for 295, 252, 300, 188, 241, 241. His lowest output as a quarterback was 101 yards, and that was against the Saints. I remember our defense was on it that game. Then after that, 259, 248, 307, 295, 250. He threw for 137 against the Rams. That's another bad game. 231, and then 174. So he has some stinkers in there, 2 or 3 stinkers, but that's going to happen. Games are going to go different. It's going to be weather conditions, and sometimes you just won't throw for a lot of yards, especially because they had Josh Jacobs. He was running for crazy yardage, throughout the season. So he played okay. He was just the scapegoat out there. It was a new coach. He didn't like him. Obviously, McDaniels didn't like Derek Carr. Obviously, something wasn't clicking there. He decided to go in a different direction, so it seems. So maybe the Saints are going to be interested. Maybe the Saints get him. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But like I said, I will take him over Andy Dalton today. I'm not trying to give up any type of assets for him of a 3rd or 4th round pick is involved. Absolutely the hell not. A 6th or a 7th for a 1 or 2 year rental, while a quarterback develops or we figure out what we're doing with a quarterback, I would take that in a heartbeat. He's only 31 years old, so he definitely has 1 or 2 years in him if we want to go that route. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Do y'all want to pursue Derek Carr? Do y'all just want him to get cut, and then maybe we try to work out a deal with him? Obviously, contract's going to be an issue. Maybe the Raiders will pay some if we trade for him or something like that. I'm sure they'll work those things out. But let me know what y'all think about the quarterback situation. Would y'all be open to doing this, or would y'all just want to go in a different direction? As always, thank y'all for tuning in once again. It's DaBoot Tragedies, and I'm out.